It's 1:47 a.m. You're not stressed about anything specific. There's no emergency. Work is fine. Well, fine enough. Nothing bad happened today, and yet here you are, staring at the ceiling, running through a conversation from 3 days ago like it's a crime scene, turning it over, finding the one word you should have said differently, and then, from nowhere, your brain pulls up something from 2019, something embarrassing, something that genuinely does not matter, and you think, why am I doing this? Why can't I just stop? You've tried the breathing, the no screens thing. You've done the warm shower, the sleep sounds, the magnesium, and it helps, a little sometimes, but the thinking doesn't really stop. It just gets quieter for a bit and then louder again when you least expect it. Here's the part nobody tells you. The people who lie awake like this, running thoughts on a loop, reviewing, replaying, reconsidering, they are almost never doing it because something is wrong with them. They're doing it because something is very, very right with their brain, and those are not the same thing. You have probably blamed yourself for this, told yourself you're anxious, that you need to learn to switch off, that other people seem to manage it and you just can't. You've framed it as a failure of self-control. It isn't, not even close. There's a network in your brain, a set of interconnected regions that researchers call the default mode network. And the name tells you almost everything you need to know. It's the network your brain defaults to the moment there's nothing specific to focus on. When you're in a meeting, answering an email, cooking dinner, that network is quiet. Your brain is occupied. It has something to do. But the second the task disappears, the second the lights go off and the room goes dark and there's nothing left to process, it fires up. And here's what makes this different for people like you. A 2010 Harvard study by Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert found that the more active someone's default mode network, the more their mind wanders, and the more likely they are to lie awake at night not with anxiety exactly, but with thinking, pure, unceasing, nowhere to put it thinking. It's not insomnia in the way most people mean it. It's more like your brain finally found a quiet room and doesn't know how to stop talking, like an engine that's been running at full speed all day and doesn't have a neutral gear. It doesn't idle. It just keeps going. The people whose brains do this most intensely, they tend to be the ones who process deeply, who notice things, who make connections other people miss during the day and can't stop making them at night. This started young. Earlier than you probably realize. By the time you were around 8 or 9, you'd already figured something out, that your brain worked differently from most of the kids around you. Not better, not worse, just faster or louder or more. You noticed more. You felt more. You thought through things other people seemed to just do without thinking. And the world by then had already sent you a message about that. Not in words necessarily, maybe in the way a teacher glossed over your question, maybe in the way you'd come home from a birthday party more tired than everyone else and not understand why, maybe in the way you'd lie in bed at 7 years old and think about things, big things, strange things, and not know what to do with them. So you learned to do your best thinking alone, in the quiet, at night. Your brain got the message. This is the time when we can actually think, when no one needs anything, when the noise settles, and it trained itself over years to wake up right on schedule, the moment the world finally goes still. That's not a disorder. That's a pattern you learned before you were old enough to choose it. But here's what it costs. You're tired in a specific way that's hard to explain. Not always sleepy. Sometimes you're exhausted and still can't stop. You've probably had mornings where you couldn't trace a single clear thought you had between midnight and 3 a.m., but you know you had hundreds of them, none of them useful, all of them real, and the next day, you're a slightly dimmer version of yourself. The edges are a little blurry, and you tell yourself, I'll sleep better tonight. And sometimes you do, and sometimes it's 1:47 a.m. again before you've noticed. Here's what I want to offer. Not as a fix, because it isn't that simple, but as a different way of seeing it. The brain that can't stop at night is the same brain that, during the day, sees around corners, makes the connection no one else makes, holds complexity without flinching, feels things, music, a moment, a conversation, more completely than most people around you can. That brain doesn't have an off switch. Not really. And maybe the problem was never that your brain runs too loud. Maybe the problem is that nobody ever gave you, or it, a place to put everything it processes. Naming that doesn't fix the 1:47 a.m., but it does change what you call it. Not broken, not anxious, not failing at something everyone else does easily. Just a mind that was always going to need more from the night than sleep. If you felt this for years and never had a name for it, you're not alone. Not even a little. If this video said something you've been carrying for a while, send it to someone who might need to hear it too. And if this kind of content speaks to you, subscribe. There's more where this came from.